Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I don't know how about you, but I am a true animal lover and I am one of those people who usually when going down the street and seeing a cat or a dog goes, "Oh, how cute, can I pet it?" Do you have the same? So these are going to be a couple of interesting stories about famous or legendary animals here in Norway. So this video is going to be a little bit with cuteness overload. I hope you will enjoy it and appreciate that with your subscriptions, likes and your comments. So let's start. This story is actually quite recent. It happened around April of 2019. There is this northernmost town in the world called Hammerfest, and it's in Norway. So the fishermen from that town went out fishing a little bit outside Hammerfest harbor, and they noticed a 4-meter large beluga whale. The beluga whale was wearing a very tight camera harness, and the poor thing was rubbing against the fisherman's boat in order to get himself free from the harness. So the fishermen decided, of course, to help him. One of them, his name was Joar Hasten, put on a special suit and jumped into the cold water in order to help the beluga whale. And success! They managed to free the beluga whale, and when they took off the harness, they saw that on that harness there was a label saying "Equipment of St. Petersburg," which is Russia. So this could be a happy end. The whale is free and he can swim in the waters and enjoy his life, but the story ended up in a different way. There was a problem. The whale was constantly returning to the fishermen's boats, and when he returned, he was actually demanding for fishermen to play with him. So by this, he was showing that he was actually tamed, and his favorite games were fetch, and he also liked to be scratched around his blowhole. The fishermen returned back to Hammerfest harbor, and the whale, of course, was following them. The Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries suggested all the people of Hammerfest not to feed the whale because he has to understand that he has to find food for himself in order to survive. Also, they did not actually know the character of the beluga whale because he might be dangerous or maybe he could have some kind of disease, so therefore he was endangering also all of the people who wanted to touch him or feed him. And also I read somewhere that there was a plan to relocate this whale back to Russia or to a sanctuary in Iceland. But actually with time they understand that this beluga whale does not endanger anybody. He's just very communicative, he loves people. They postponed the idea of sending him somewhere else. They gave it this task to a Norwegian orca survey to actually feed this beluga whale so that he don't die. But despite the fact that they gave this task to Norwegian orca survey to feed this beluga whale, they still hoped that one day he will kind of start to feed himself and maybe go out in the wilderness and start a normal beluga whale life. They also called him Valdimir, and I will explain why this kind of strange name a little bit further in my video, so bear with me. It looks like everything's fine. Valdimir found his own place, his people who are feeding him, and this could be the place where the story again ends. But no, actually Valdimir had several problems. I read articles that one or a couple of months after the decision to feed him officially was made, one of the persons responsible for Valdimir, her name was Eve, noticed some behavioral changes in Valdimir, which meant that he might be ill, and this might be caused by people touching him or maybe feeding something that he is not supposed to eat. So she was inviting people not to feed him because he was fed officially by people who are responsible for that.
But it's hard to keep him safe because it's so many risks.
The boats.
Yes.
However, apart from all of these scary and bad things, Valdimir is a very smart animal, and the people from Norwegian Orca Survey started to train him, and he was doing several tricks, and he kind of also became the symbol of Hammerfest, and people came to see Valdimir as like a sightseeing object. The Norwegian Orca Survey still wanted him to be self-sufficient and learn to feed himself.
There was a situation that proves how intelligent he was. A young woman who was visiting the place and filming Valdimir accidentally dropped her iPhone in the water. Valdimir actually got it from the water and brought her back. And there are more videos similar to this.
But let's return back to the beginning when Valdimir was actually found. So as you remember, on the harness there was this label saying that it's an equipment of St. Petersburg. This caught the attention of Norwegian military, and there was a question: was Valdimir actually a Russian spy in Norway? Could he be sent in Norwegian waters just to spy? So I just wanted to break down all the theories and facts so that we might try to understand from where Valdimir is actually coming and what was his purpose before he came to Hammerfest. So the first theory about Valdimir being a spy. I do not actually believe that, because we all know spy movies, books about spies. Spies are the ones that are usually trying to hide their own identity, and on that harness there was a very noticeable message that it's coming from Russia. So I don't believe that if the mission was to spy, they would leave some kind of traces pointing out to Russia. So in my opinion, Valdimir wasn't a spy. However, not so far from Hammerfest, there is a Russian naval base called Murmansk. It is related, maybe not, but my personal opinion still, no.
An expert and official from Russian Federation commented that this theory is just another conspiracy theory. I think this is a very powerful fake that Western countries have invented to show what monsters Russians actually are. It has gone too far. Even sea animals are now Russian killing weapons. These videos about him tells us only one thing, that this animal is peaceful, friendly and cannot be trained to kill or harm people. There's also another theory. Valdimir might be actually a therapy animal. Well, there is a program for disabled children at the Arctic Circle Paddy Dive Center and Lodge near the Russian-Norwegian border. The harness would be for the purpose of towing a boat with children inside. They thought Valdimir would be a famous whale from the center called Semyon. At least videos made people think like that. But according to some Russian sources I read, this is also not possible. During the last 2.5 years we did not have any whales here. The whales were owned by a separate organization, said Mikhail Safonov, director of diving center The Arctic Circle. He also mentions that the last whale this organization had was sold in 2016. However, there is a huge possibility that Russian organizations that are selling whales like that are afraid to publicly confirm any loss of whales, as in 2019 was a scandal in Russia regarded as whale prison, where they discovered whales kept in bad conditions and intended for selling. This drew attention even from Russia's President Vladimir Putin, so maybe any similar organizations would not want to go publicly about an escaped whale in order not to draw attention to their activities.
Now let's talk about the name. Why Valdimir? So actually the name Valdimir is also kind of derived from the theory about Russian spy. There was a newspaper who wrote an article about this beluga whale, and it kind of was the first source that called him Valdimir, and it was a word game consisting of Russia's president Vladimir Putin and the Norwegian name Val, which means whale. So that was the first time when he was actually addressed as Valdimir. And then there was a competition announced about how to call this beluga whale, And this competition, like this voting, showed that people actually like this name, so he was called Hvaldimir. There were also some other options, and one of them was also like to call him in the name of the fisherman who actually saved him. Remember at the beginning, who put the suit on and jumped into the water to release him from the harness. So where is he now? How is he doing? The good news is that actually Hvaldimir learned to be self-sufficient. He learned to feed himself, and he wasn't anymore dependent from people. Later on, he actually left Hammerfest and started to live on his own. So again, I will repeat, it looks like the story has ended very positively, and Hvaldimir is now happy in the wilderness. But no, there are some problems. People who noticed Hvaldimir after leaving Hammerfest harbor say that he showed some signs and also injuries from propellers of the boats. So Hvaldimir, of course, is a very communicative animal, and when he swims to the coast, some people have witnessed that some bad people are actually throwing things on him, also forcing something in his mouth. So I don't even have the words for these people. I mean, this whale, he loves people, he likes communication. What the you are doing? Whew. So yeah, but thank God for a person called Regina Cosby. She's a filmmaker, and she was actually making a documentary about Hvaldimir.
After she documented Hvaldimir and witnessed his need for protection by the government of Norway, she started to do something about the situation.
She founded an organization called One Whale. She also gathered around herself people from all over the world who are willing to help Hvaldimir. Actually, this movement is all about helping Hvaldimir to live a peaceful life. So they are also urging the Norwegian government to take care about this beluga whale and protect him. So all of the information actually is put on the official website of this organization called One Whale. I am writing down the website, and also I will put the link down in the description. There you can read everything about the project, about the dangers that are actually surrounding Hvaldimir, and why he must be saved from the environment where he is now, and why he needs Norwegian government protection so much. So if you are willing to help him, you can do it by donations. You can also become an advocate of him, and yeah, all the information is down there.
Also make sure to check out the webpage of Norwegian Orca Survey. There you will find more details about Hvaldimir's story and rescue. There you can also find a code of conduct and advice about how to act in case you get lucky to meet Hvaldimir.
I truly want to end the story about this amazing whale on a positive note. I will just repeat Antoine Saint-Exupéry's phrase, we are responsible for the ones we have tamed. So, and the next story is very positive, very fluffy and cuddly. It's a story about a fox and a dog that actually managed to become best friends. The action of the story takes place in Norway, as you might already understand. And oh my god, it became viral, and everybody were simply loving the photos from this unlikely friendship. So let's start from the beginning. There was a man, and his name was Torgeir Berge, and he was living somewhere in Norwegian woods together with his beloved German shepherd called Tinni. They were going for walks in the woods almost every day, and one day when he was again going out for a walk in the woods with Tinni, they noticed a little fox. The most interesting thing was that the fox actually wasn't trying to escape, and the dog wasn't actually trying to attack or any kind of scare the fox. So they started just to play. Torgeir actually allowed Tinni to play with the fox because it looked like a very interesting friendship. Afterwards, when Torgeir was again going out for walks with Tinni, The fox was there again, and again they started to play. And later on it became a very wonderful friendship, and these playdates actually became very regular. So Torgeir also gave a name to this fox, and he called him Sniffer. In Norwegian it would be Snusen. And oh my god, these friends have so much fun together. They like to chase squirrels, they are fighting over some sticks, they are also discovering new places in the woods, and they are also wrestling.
But the fox is very shy of other people. Not on me, but as soon as someone else is with him, he shadows the path, Berge says.
Actually, Torgeir is a photographer. We are so lucky because he was taking photos of these playdates, and these photos actually went out viral, and newspapers and different internet sources started to post the story and tell the world about TINNI and SNUSEN.
Berge just takes a walk in the forest with Tinni, his dog, and when he whistles, the fox Snusen comes to play. They do whatever they please, and they have never fought. Snusen is a real wild fox, coming and going as he pleases, said Helberg.
This experience with his dog being a friend with a fox actually changed a lot the mind of Torgeir.
The photos are also used in anti-fur campaign for Noah's animal rights activists. Berge himself is also actively participating in events.
And he started to change his mind regarding the fox fur trade in Norway. So he wanted to do something in order to ban the fox hunting. And one of his ideas that he actually realized in real life was to put these photographs into a children's book. He teamed up with the writer Berit Helberg, and they released a book. Another very important thing why he started to pay attention to the hunting issue in Norway was the fact that he was afraid that Snusen also might be killed one day in these kind of huntings.
To see how alike Snusen and Tinni are might make other people see the similarity. And would they even think about letting their beloved dog live in a small claustrophobic cage for all its life? Never. If you want to learn more about the organization Berge and Helberg are helping with this Tinni and Snusen story, check out their website. Unfortunately, it is in Norwegian, but you can try and translate and see how much work for the sake of foxes and other animals they have done and are still continuing.
Now it's your turn. What do you think about this cute friendship between Snusen and Tinni? Write down in comments. Third story is, again, a little bit like an unlikely friendship. Mette Kvam is a lady over her 80s. She lives in Åland, Norway, and she has a very good friend. The friend is a deer, and she called him Flippen. The friendship actually began in 2014 when she noticed the stag going around in her yard. She decided to offer him a cookie. To her surprise, he gently and very cautiously took the cookie. And this is how it started. Since then, Flippen is visiting Mette's house twice a day, and he reaches up to Mette's kitchen window and receives his snack. So he visits Mette regularly in the morning and in the evening, and by this he also has become like a local celebrity in the community. The deer was given a name Flippen because he has a little flip in his ear, and everybody around know this feature, and even the hunters know that Flippen looks like that with this flip in the air, and they make sure that they don't kill him during the hunting because nobody wants to kill a local celebrity.
He's leaving in April, then he disappears up in the mountains somewhere far, and then he comes back in November all alone. Then he again stands up under the window where he usually gets bread, said Mette to Norwegian television channel TV2. Flippen also serves kinda like a therapy animal. Family friend of Mette in one interview said, Mette has no kids, and since her husband passed away, she has no one. She only has Flippen in her life now.
This is such a cute friendship. What do you think about Flippen and Mette? Write down in comments.
Han var heldig i dag. I dag er hun heldige. Åh, ja, hvor heldige. Ja,
And so, this is it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Don't forget to put your likes. Don't forget to write down in comments whatever comes into your mind. As always, I am always answering all of your comments. And I'm truly enjoying discussions with you down there in the comment section. And yeah, make sure you have already subscribed to the channel, press the notification bell. Oh, and wait for it. Oh, this is Kasia, you already know her. She's our favorite rescue cat. Just wanted to remind you to love your pets, be respectful to any kind of animals. And if you see an animal that needs help, please help them, because they are our little brothers and sisters. So yeah, have a nice day guys, and see you next time!